Greetings and welcome to another Diablo 4 build video. This time I'm going to show you the Shotgun Rogue, as I call it. It is working with Inner Sight and Barrage, as well as Cold Imbuement and Close Quarters Key Passive. But more to that when we get right into the skills, which is right now. We have 2 points into the basics because we need to, but we're not really using them. And then we got Barrage, as mentioned, with Advanced Barrage, as well as Sturdy and Siphoning Strikes, because we are very close to the enemy, shotgunning them from a very near distance or even close up to the face. Then Shadow Step with Methodical to gain some damage reduction, as well as Caltrops with Disciplined to get more critical strike chance. Weapon Mastery, Dash with Methodical Dash to give us more and more dashes. And then, of course, Unstable Elixirs, Trick Attacks. I don't have Rapid Gambits, it just comes from the Call of the Nameless. Dark Shroud, we're getting this via the, what's it called? Umbrous legendary aspect. So we are still putting points into this to gain more damage reduction, as well as countering Dark Shroud for more critical strike chance. If we need more defensive capabilities, we can also go into Subverting to get more max life. And I'm also using Poison Trap as well as countering Poison Trap. And I'm using this from time to time, but more than that, it is coming from our unique Scoundrels Ladders. So more to that in a second. And as mentioned, Cold Imbuement together with Mixed, and then of course Frigid Finesse. And lastly, some Trap Mastery to get even more crit strike chance. And as already mentioned, we have Close Quarters Combat. As you can see, we have a 76% damage increase due to damage versus crowd control bonuses. And we are activating this to standing very close with our Barrage, but also the Cutthroat skills are Dash and Shadow Step, which we have enough for it to proc because this lasts for 8 seconds. Coming over to the items, we have Call of the Nameless. Most builds use this because of Unstable Elixir being such a high multiplier, as well as I think it's Trick Attacks. I'm always confusing these two, but also Trick Attacks gives a good multiplier. Maybe this can eventually be replaced by something. I think Harlequin's Crest is worse, so yeah, this can be replaced at least with something with a GA on it, with like more to these passives. Then Scoundrel's Ladder, you don't see that often. It's due to we use Inner Sight, and this gives us more Inner Sight duration, a huge chunk of it actually. And then also damage reduction from this affected by trap skills, because when we have unlimited energy from Inner Sight, if we cast a core skill, we have a 70% chance to spawn Caltrops, Poison Trap, or Death Trap. That's part of the reason why we have the Poison Trap in our skill tree, because it does proc fairly often, and this is a very nice piece. Other than that, it only comes with max life, which is nice, but then movement speed, while our Inner Sight gosh full, it's like me. And yeah, the damage reduction is okay, I guess. And then a gold clip right here. These are not perfect gloves. They mainly cover our armor needs and then also max life. Ideally, you want dexterity and maybe lucky hit to chance to make enemies vulnerable, or attack speed right here. But for now, it's fine. The important part is the 2 Barrage. And then the lucky hit should be chance to freeze. This is chance to slow. It's not that great. But it's another crowd control effect. And then, of course, damage crowd control. This is a max roll. This is very nice. Yeah, Ambrose I already showed. Dexterity here, max life, and then some resistances that I still needed to fill out. The dodge change is not ideal. So ideally, you want armor here, and then the total armor on the tempering. So we can have something else here to get our armor cap. And I'm over armor cap because I also have armor on my boots. If I remove them, I'm under armor cap, so it's kind of a weird situation. I would have needed to have the total armor tempering here, but I haven't found a comparable pants yet where I can temper that. Or I have found it and tempering bricked it. So yeah, there you go. And then the boots also have a dexterity GA, and then max life, and then ideally you either movement speed or maybe resistances instead of the armor, or the armor instead of, yeah, it depends. Like it's always a mix and match between your other pieces. And then here we have the lucky hit chance to freeze, fortunately. And I like the mobility cooldown reduction because we are using dash and shadow step fairly often. Also using Wind Force, it comes with a huge inherent affix of 130% damage to crowd control enemies, helping our close quarters combat. And we have a Barrage and Malice on here, which is a huge damage boost, of course. This piece has a GA on Barrage, which is nice, but unfortunately it only has the 36% chance to deal double damage and knock back enemies. And I believe having 2 procs on Malice, it's kind of weird because this either came only with 1 skill rank on Malice, or yeah, I think it only came with 1 skill rank on Malice. That's why now we have 4. So this is also not ideal, but yeah, hard to find, actually, hard to find something better. Branching volleys on the amulet, as well as frigid finesse here. Max life dexterity is kind of neat, but ideally you want some other passives as well here, or maybe attack speed. Then damage to crowd control is great. It's a max roll. Cold Imbue lasts longer, of course. Starless Sky is very, very cool. Whoops. Since it gives us core skills, it gives us lucky hit, critical strike, attack speed, all useful stats. Doesn't give us damage to crowd control, unfortunately, but the unique effect here is very, very nice. In between inner sight, we really struggle a bit with energy from time to time, but with Starless Skies, it's really, really way less noticeable. And then high velocity, another Barrage legendary aspect. This ring also not ideal, has a min roll on damage crowd control. Also, I don't really need that lucky hit chance here. I'd rather have either lucky hit to make enemies vulnerable would be nice, or max life, for example. And I found some rings, but then I bricked them in a tappering. That's how it goes. Got retribution right here because we're knocking down and stunning all the time. So this is very, very nice. As well as dex, max life, and damage right here. And then closing the gap for the Barrage projectiles to cast twice. You can see together with Wind Force, it's like over 100% even now that I tempered it sufficiently. And then the Doombringer. So previously I was running Azure Ref because the freeze is very nice. The attack speed is nice in Azure Ref. And also it comes with all stats, I believe. And then I transitioned to Doombringer, which of course gives you a lot of survivability, but which we are lacking a bit. You may have noticed that I don't have second wind. The reason is that when inner sight is up, like you have unlimited energy, this will not count towards second wind. Any skill that you cast will not count towards second wind, which is unfortunate. I would hope they change it because we spend energy, but we have unlimited. But how it works is you're not spending energy when inner sight is full. So that's why this is not working. So we have Doombringer for a big chunk of damage reduction after they get like shadow damage with the lucky hit, and then all stats, max life, and then 100% damage inherent affix. So this complements build very well. I was thinking also Tyrell's Might, but then we have to get rid of Scoundrel's Leathers, which is a bit awkward because it changes as part of our build, which leans a bit into the traps. All right, Paragon board. We have combat right here, gives us more crit strike damage, restores energy cost. I want to toy around with this. It might not be the best thing. I mean, crits are still like a huge chunk of damage with 34% crit chance, and then with Caltrops and Dark Shroud and what have you, we have even more. And crit strike damage is fairly okay right here. Might toy around with it. We might squeeze out more damage somewhere else if we don't need these energy refund here of 12% of energy cost. So something to keep an eye out. And then we are going to exploit weakness and get the control. Of course, more damage for core control. So max out squeeze every intelligence. And I think on this board, it's the most intelligence you can have, like 49. I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong, please sound off in the comments if there's another board where I can get more points, because this will also give us more multipliers with close quarters combat. And then here we have the cheap shot board. Yeah, makes sense, of course, crowd control. I have Canny right here. Although there is the, where is it? This one, like Canny and Chip is kind of equivalent to each other, right? So you might use Chip or Canny. The problem with Chip is that I need dexterity and really starving for node points right here. Actually, I don't need this one. I can get more max life. So you have to see, like, non-physical damage. Yeah, I mean, we have a huge damage with Cold Imbuement. It's not always up. It's up more often than with other builds, because if Poison Trap triggers, we have 40% chance to reset Cold Imbuement. So that's why I'm leaning towards Canny right now. And up here, this board is important in conjunction with this one, because down here we get Runner's Instinct, giving us Inner Sight's boost to core skill damage bonus, while Inner Sight Gauge remains full. So you need core skill damage bonus to boost this multiplier up to 35%, which I think you cannot reach. We can reach 32.4 due to this board giving core skill damage, core skill damage, core skill damage, core skill damage, also here. And that's it. And then you have this glyph, which then boosts magic nodes. So these nodes here, and then you get another core damage right here. There's no items in the game right now that give core skill damage. So this is all that we got, which is kind of unfortunate, and I hope they fix this in the next patch. And then we got the exploit glyph right here on the tricks of the trade board. As we use cutthroat skills and marksman skills, because of dash and shadow step, this will also be up a lot of times. I went here to the shadow res because I need to build some resistances. Let me see that I'm still right on that. Yeah, we have 2.6 over capped. So you have to like see your gear and then check which one you need, because there's this one here. There's also cold res if you need it here. So it depends where you need to go. And then we got Eldritch Bounty right here, giving us another huge boost to our cold imbuement. So you can really feel when you use cold imbuement that you do a lot of more damage. And that's it. We only have 5 glyphs actually. We could do it a bit differently and get probably another glyph, but these are the most important ones anyways. There's also like closer, maybe not closer, sorry. There is Ranger, I think it's called. Where's Ranger? Here, Ranger, for example, giving us reduced damage and more damage with marksman skills is also interesting. And then other than that, there's Devious, which is also interesting. Could replace Fluidity, for example, but Fluidity gives us also energy regeneration, so there you go. All right, so we talked about 13 minutes only about the build. If you came here and you skipped until here, welcome. We're doing a Pit 100, which aside from the boss should be fairly easy. And the boss itself, it depends. Sometimes some bosses are more sturdy and can take a lot more hits. But the key is to stagger them, which happens really quickly, and then just burst them down. And usually you need 2 stagger cycles, sometimes 3. After the 3rd stagger cycle on the boss, it becomes very hard to stagger them. So the way you play this, if you like, if you saw the passives, and maybe you already know, maybe you don't, but we need to cast our dash, for example, every now and then to proc Fluidity and Tricks of the Trade. And you want to use dash first before you use Shadow Step, because Shadow Step is also a source of unstoppable if you find yourself in a tricky situation. And the cool thing is it's very mobile. Like you really get the dash charges back fairly quickly. I mean, now I'm running out because I'm using it a lot. I can also use like Shadow Step in between. Here the trash is really easy, as you can see. So that's one thing. And then you might want to put some poison trap. You really don't have to, because every time when we have a full inner sight gauge, you can already see there's like traps all over the place. And then every now and then you also want to, what's happening? Why are they so sturdy, so tanky? Every now and then you want to use a, oh wait, of course the sound is not working. Test, there you go. Every now and then you want to use a potion, but make sure that you have like a good resource management in terms of potion. Right now I used a bit too much. I only have 3 out of 9. So we also need to pick up some potions on the way, which usually happens automatically, right? And I think I'm using these abilities and potions too often. Because we have like, I don't know, 8 to 10 seconds that the buff lasts. And the buff from unstable elixirs for the potions is really, really high, like the damage buff. So that's kind of basically rotation. You don't really use caltrops that much, only with the boss. But of course, if you want, you can use it as a defensive option, jumping away from something dangerous.
I need time to do that.
And then the boss. So the boss is, well, there's some tactic involved, some getting used to. First of all, you want to make sure you use your cold imbuement beforehand. It's always nice to always have the 9 procs and then the cooldown already running. So if you go into the portal, just use cold imbuement, and then up until the boss, you already got some seconds off. But you can also have the potential to reset it with poison trap. So what we're gonna do is we dash into the boss to proc our fluidity and our tricks of the trade. We use our potion, which we only have 3 now, unfortunately, because I did a bad job doing resource management with the potions. That gives the boss a huge stagger because it also stuns. Then we use our poison trap as well, and then we stagger them. And then you might see after stagger or later that I use caltrops and then use dash. So since tricks of the trade I think is only 8 seconds long, we need to use like dash again every now and then. Then of course use cold imbuement when it's up again. The big one. So especially during stagger, you can see a huge chunk of damage. And then if the enemy is not staggered, we actually don't do damage at all. And these shadows can really hurt. So we need to evade that damage. So I've already had 2 stagger cycles. I'm doing a really poor job doing good damage to the boss. And now she's standing like in this trap here.
I'm not ready yet.
Now we kind of need to kill her. And we got her. So this was a close call because it was only the 3rd stagger. Usually you only need 2. This boss might be a bit tanky. I also like didn't do the rotation very well, or didn't like fully commit to the damage on the boss. But that's basically it. I think it's a very fun build. It's very agile. It's very fast. Need to see how far I can push it. As you saw, like there's some big gaps in my gear still that I need to fill. I mean, there's really damage potential here. Like alone here, we could have 200 more dexterity, which is a huge damage bonus. So we see. If you watched until this end, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider liking and subscribing for more. Good luck, have fun, and goodbye.